talk a little bit about the team. Massive Capital is a vertically integrated real estate company. We're also a developer of Triple Net, which is a type of retail town centers, and we're the owner operator of Value Add Multifamily. As you can see, we're very Texas centric, but we do have 2 assets in Denver, Colorado. And in fact, I was there this weekend and toured it with our local partner. The property is looking really good. If you're friends with me on social media or I tag Massive Capital, I did a little video of what we were doing. We have a couple assets in North Carolina and Georgia, along with our partner, Realty One. Realty One is on the development side of our company on the retail. So they own a lot of retail centers. And then, of course, Massive Capital has multifamily, the X-Space development in Houston, but 1,387 units. And we're a total of $510 million in assets. And so we have an equity fund. The brokerage is on the retail triple net side, along with the property management and development. And we also have a construction organization. And of course, we have our massive education program. Brenda will post a link in there. And if you want to talk a little bit more about that program, highly recommend that you book a call with Brenda. It's an amazing program. We offer a lot of development for folks that are moving forward. So a little bit summary of our last since 2022. We've done 15 projects, a land development, value add multifamily, and a triple net retail. This is one we just closed here in Midland, Texas. A really, really nice property. We're working on a development in Katy, Texas. It is a 506B, so if you have an established relationship with us, you will be getting information on that. And we also have about 7% remaining on our value add in Houston, Texas. So this one here is still available. So if you need some bonus depreciation for this year, this is an awesome one. We're projecting a 2.11 equity multiple of your money, an 18% IRR with a 7% preferred payment, which means that investors get paid first until you make 7%. Us as sponsors don't make anything. So reach out to anyone on the Massive Capital team, use the link. We'd be happy to talk to you about this opportunity.
And now, here's someone you want to hear from, our sponsor.
For over 15 years, Skyline Title has been a trusted name in Texas real estate. From first-time homebuyers to seasoned investors, our team ensures a smooth, reliable closing experience every time. Backed by a decade of partnerships and proven success, we take pride in protecting your biggest investment, your home. Visit SkylineHTX.com to learn more.
So massive value add, learn by doing. All right, Massive Capital really wants to emphasize the learn by doing. It's super important. It's a great way for you to learn. So we're looking for partners. So if you have land and you're looking for someone to joint venture with, we're looking for Class A locations, but we're anywhere from 10 to 40 acres we can develop and help you do it. We're also working with new acquisitions for different properties that are in distress. We're also a loan guarantor and a debt equity and a partner. So that's what we did on our deal in Midland, Texas. And then we also can do asset advisory where we advise you and help you. And of course, the massive Masters for Education, super amazing programs. Got to really take your time and learn about that one. So this is the Massive Masters. We're going to go through this pretty quickly here, but we look at all types of different deals, right? So you get to do all of these things on here. So deal flow and underwriting support. We have meetings every day where our team works on properties. So, and we keep track of all the properties. It's quite interesting because I watched the WhatsApp chat. So there was a property, didn't work out. All the different offers fell through. So I got a chat. I saw a chat for one of our students who was working on that deal. Hey, the broker just called, the deal fell off. You guys interested in again? And so we could make an offer. Same thing, there was another property today. So a bunch of our students went and looked at a property today with Ellen, who's on our team. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to learn. We obviously have property strategy and implementation. So all types of learning, how to manage, how to do all of these things. And then we use the best-in-class tools. So a lot of the tools you can use for underwriting all of your deals. So all of these things are included in our program. And you can also get the CRM on your own, right? So we have a community. We have about 100 events a year, if you can imagine, and we do these webinars every Wednesday. We do in-person events. We do pop-up events. We also tag on with other events. So I was at an event in Denver. So we did a meetup and a property tour. So there's lots of things that you can combine with Massive Capital. Obviously, training and education, tools and tactics, marketing events, active engagement, and of course, lots of things with our massive CRM and marketing tools. And this is kind of your 90-day roadmap. So you'll go through all of these things, then you'll make some decisions, then you're going to choose your path. And the paths are deal finding acquisition specialist, fund manager, capital raising, or on the asset management side. So there's lots of different options for you once you get into the program. All right, so tonight we're quickly going to talk about investing in real estate. United States is one of the best places for people to invest in real estate because of all of the different things. Love them or hate them, when Donald Trump a few years ago said, "I pay no taxes," it is really all to do with real estate. So we all know, obviously, you're all here because you're interested in real estate. But if you look, right, real estate can offer cash flow. Leverage is super important. A lot of people don't understand the power of leverage. If you have never read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I highly recommend. They talk about the power of leverage, right? So when we buy a real estate deal, we use debt as leverage. Then we combine that with investor contributions, put their money into a deal, and we combine that together and we buy a real asset. Want to make sure that people understand, when I say we buy a real asset, right, we are buying an apartment complex or some other building. But I want to make sure that you understand that we're actually normally buying a business that is operated out of a real asset. And of course, the real assets, we all know, appreciate in value, do lots of things. And then, of course, we have huge tax advantages. So you'll be able to get this thing. We mentioned it on the deal for Horizon. Just to give you an example, if you invested $100,000 in the Horizon, you would get a paper loss this year of $38,000. Now, if you're a passive investor with a full-time W-2, you will be able to write that loss off of your passive earnings. So, but again, it does not expire. So you can keep using it until you lose it, till it's gone. So it's a really important thing for you to understand. And then, of course, if you're a real estate professional, you'll already understand the value of it. And the value of it is that that $38,000 loss goes against all of your income. So we all know stocks obviously have cash flow and leverage, but they are not normally real assets unless you're maybe investing in a REIT, and they certainly don't have any tax advantages. On bonds, of course, they have some cash flow and tax advantages, but there's no leverage, there's no real assets. And for all of you that are hanging on to your money, thinking, I'm going to wait until things get better, I got some sad news for you. X, 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 X. All right, you got no cash flow, you got no leverage, you got no real assets, you got no tax advantages, and even more importantly, with inflation being higher like it is right now, you are actually going backwards. You are losing money. You are not making money or saving money. There is no way for you to save your money. And so obviously with real estate, especially when you passively invest into a syndication, we do all of the work. We take care of everything. We find the property, we buy the property, we manage the property. We talked a lot about this 2 weeks ago, but we do everything for you. So it's truly a passive investment. And I like to say it's where you make money in your sleep. We all know that the great Warren Buffett said, until you find a way to make money in your sleep, you will work until you die. So it's really the fact that your money is now working for you. And all of these things with real estate, you obviously get all these advantages, right? So here we are, number one, it's a tangible asset. It produces cash flow potential. There's appreciation, leverage, and tax advantages. So all of these things combined really put into the power of real estate investing. So obviously, when you're real estate investing, you want to make sure that you have some balance in your portfolio. So you'll see at the beginning, right, when we talked about all of Massive Capital's investments, that we invest in several things, right? So we invest a lot in value add multifamily. We've invested in land development. We've invested in new build retail. We've invested in development with single X space. And so you want to make sure that you have a variety of things. And one of the things that Shrar mentioned in our next one, we're going to actually talk about a few other asset classes in our next mastermind, because there's lots of ways for you to do it. So when you're looking at your real estate investments, right, you want to understand the balance of risk reward, the time that your money is secured, and the asset class that you're going to invest in. So it's super important that you think about all of those things, all of the things that are going to balance out your portfolio. Someone said they lost the sound. Can you still hear me, Brenda?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Okay. Someone said they lost the sound. So hopefully everybody can still hear me. So one of the things I want to talk about, oh, she's back, good. So we talk a little bit about becoming a millionaire with real estate. So I want to make sure that I'm super clear here. We are not talking about where you bring money and where you are a broker dealer, where you bring money and you get compensation for the money. I want to be very clear that this is just an example how when you switch from I didn't set this up right, so let me start over again. When you're investing as a passive investor, you're giving your money to other people. Now, the next level of you advancing as a real estate person, and some of the things that we will be teaching you in our mastermind, is how do you take that information and how do you switch over to be on the active side? So one of the things that is really interesting is on the active side is capital raising. And so I like to try to break this down a little bit better. And so the way I've broken this down is you're going to get on a deal and you're new, so you're only going to be able to find 5 investors at $50,000, and you're going to be able to bring about $250,000 to a deal. Your lifetime value of that 250,000 is about 15%, so about 37,500, and you'll receive about 3,700 of that on the acquisition side. And so the way I've tried to structure this is you get a little bit better over the time. So you go from 5 investors to 6, from 6 to 7 to 9. And this, I'm trying to show this in a year. So you have worked on 4 deals during a year. These could be some investors may be repeat investors, some may be new investors, and I've shown them all at a $50,000 investment, right? So you have raised about $1.3 million, 350. Your value as the general partner is about $202,000, and you would have earned about $20,000 in acquisition fees. All right, so what I want to talk about is how this continues to grow. So year 2, again, I haven't bumped it up a lot. You've gotten a little better at capital raising. And let me go backwards. This was actually a chart I created for myself as a goal. And so I wanted to share it here, so how I could get to just sort of visualize to myself, how am I going to become a millionaire through real estate investing? So on year 2, I haven't broken it down that we've done how many deals, but I've assumed I should be able to raise about $1.5 million. My lifetime value is about $225,000, and I'll receive about $22,000 on acquisition fees. All right, let's go to year 3. I've said I'm getting a little better so I can raise $2 million. And again, $2 million is a lot of money, but I'm talking 3 years of building my database, building my credibility, connecting with investors, offering them opportunities, and I'm up to 3.5 million. Well, that now has a lifetime value of 525,000. So I'm sure you can see where I'm going, and I'm making quite a bit more on my acquisition fees, almost up to there's a little glitch on my math there. That's not right. That shouldn't be that high. So forget my math there. And then okay, I've reached the point where I can raise $5 million. So in these 5 years, I've raised a little over $13 million. And I know that sounds staggering, but I've got a lot of friends that have been doing $1, $2, $3 million on their raise. What I want to make sure that you understand, this is the lifetime value of a deal. So again, I want to make sure that you understand that this is going to be the lifetime value, but it's going to take you another 5 years to achieve this lifetime value. Okay, but what I want you to understand is that doing this for 5 years within the 10-year plan, you will have a net worth in receiving $2 million in earnings from in this 10-year period. That's a substantial buildup of your net worth. So it's super important for you to understand there is the next level, right? So again, I love being a passive investor. I'm still a passive investor. That helps me with my diversification and different things. But if you want to switch over, capital raising is one of the places that it's easiest to switch over because you can work with other sponsors, you can work with massive capital, and you can create the fact that you're going to be a multi-millionaire.